Good morning, traders. Happy Monday. What's going on, chat? How we doing? How we doing this morning? What's happening? Wolf, Allen, Dwayne, what's up, guys? D4 Marker, what's going on? Or Martyr, I don't know. I could never pronounce your guys' names. Edge Kind, what's up? What's up? What's up? Chuck, what's up? JB, what's up? Good morning, chat. You guys know the drill. Welcome back to another beautiful Monday, October 27th. Before we hop on these charts, make sure you read what's on the screen. Trading is very risky. Most traders lose money. If you trade, you're probably going to lose money. I'm just an entertainment. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just an entertainment, I guess. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. Sorry, guys, I botched the beginning of the disclaimer. Make sure you read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even if under proper accounts, and the affiliate partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, like Top 1 Futures, code RDF, Bookmap, and others. There we go. Now we got it down. What's happening, guys? What's happening? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. If you are new, my name is Zach, aka Real Deal Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Had a bunch of people hop into the Discord after the Austin Silver podcast. That was round 2 for me on ASFX TV. Very cool. The day trading show. If you guys missed that, that is up on their YouTube. If you're new, welcome, man. Happy to have you here. Appreciate you being here. If you are not in the community, I have the link pinned to the top of this chat for a 100% free trading community. But let's hop into these charts, man. I want to do a little bit of analysis. I also wanted to do a little bit of a chart rundown. I had a couple people ask me about the tools that I use, had some DMs on the way that I trade, that type of stuff. For the most part, man, I really just like to trade. I trade live. I have hundreds of hours of live trading up here. That displays better than any way that I would type out or describe a strategy or the way that I approach the markets. And certainly is the only thing worth a damn in this industry with AI and everything being able to be forged, right, and edited. So I'm just kind of getting myself set, taking a look at ES Bookmap over here on the left-hand side. Yeah, just getting a feel for where we're at this morning, coming into this Monday. End of October. We got a big week, man. Big week. No news on the calendar before I even start analysis. No news on the calendar for today. As you guys know, we've had kind of like a slowdown in the data releases from the U.S., obviously, because of the government shutdown. We do have scheduled FOMC this week. It's Wednesday at 2 p.m., and then the FOMC corresponding press conference right after at 2:30 p.m. We also have tomorrow, 10 a.m. It's showing 10 a.m. tentative on one, and then the other one is just showing that it's on there. Richmond Manufacturing Index, consumer confidence, and outside of that, by way of scheduled data releases, looks like just a bunch of FOMC members speaking, but we do have earnings. We got like a lot of earnings this week, man. Along with that, as you know, these are headline markets. Trump continues to do his thing. The China-US tariff situation continues to escalate. Or escalate and then de-escalate and then escalate and then de-escalate. You know, it's just this whole back and forth headline market, right? Which has been pretty wild to trade through, to be completely honest. But it's just important to note, you know, we are at risk of an increase of volatility at any point, right? While we're in a trade, while we're trading throughout the day, we can get a huge candle that prints, you know, really out of nowhere because of those drivers, right? Those underlying fundamental drivers. I'm not the fundamental specialist. It's not where I spend a whole bunch of my time. I like to know about scheduled data releases so I'm not caught off guard on something that I can anticipate, right? I could be ready for. But outside of that, I'm not trying to predict which, you know, how CPI is going to come in and what that means for the market. None of that fun stuff. So let's do this, guys. Let's take a look at my chart real quick, just because I know we got new people on here. I'd love to be able to come back to this and kind of just say, hey, check out Monday, the 27th video. Here's what my chart looks like. This is Project X with Top 1 Futures. I am trading a pre-live account. This is their live account program where you get kicked from an instant funded or whatever account you're trading once you get called up live. This is a 15K pre-live account with Top 1 Futures. I've been in this one for a few weeks, taking a handful of payouts. Nothing crazy, but it's been awesome so far. But Project X, that's what we're looking at. To start, I have a completely blank background. candlestick color, because I'm going to do it all on this one, guys. Candlestick color, white and gray, right? Very, very simple. I have 3 indicators, technically 3 indicators, although they are all volume tools. This is the YM chart, by the way, if you can't tell from here and here. I have VWAP right here in the middle, volume weighted average price. Standard settings, just the color white. I have visible range volume profile here on the right-hand side, and I got a couple little customizations in here. 25% brings it over to the right-hand side, volume profile, visible range, excuse me. I've got these colors changed. That's just colors. The only input that I have changed is the row size. Here's my point of control for temporary volume point of control. Row size being 200 makes it a little bit more granular. And then down on the bottom, I have standard traditional volume. The only thing I have here is just a very light colored gray for volume. Only other thing I have on my chart at all that's a drawing tool is the fixed range volume profile. You get this by coming over here. You get all the rest by going up to the top, typing in indicators. You get these fixed range volume profiles by clicking on the projections tab under volume based. Is it the projections tab? What is this? Maybe? Forecasting and measurement tools tab, excuse me. Fixed range volume profile right here, and you drag that out for the session, for the entire day, right? So I have this coming from 1800 all the way to 1645 at session close for prior day. Now, what the hell do I do with all this stuff? How do I trade, right? Overall, and then obviously on the left-hand side, we've got bookmap, pretty much a standard setting bookmap chart, paying attention to a little bit of cumulative volume delta down here in the bottom, outside of just the traditional bookmap setup, your heat map, your current order book over here on the left-hand side, right-hand side for you guys. So how do I use this chart, right? How do I trade YM off the open? How do I trade throughout the day? What the heck do I do? You know, what's my approach to the market? Here's how I trade YM. This is an interesting one because we got a big gap up here and some consolidation. In general, I'm taking a look first, zoomed out on the 15-minute at the higher time frame, gaining some context. What are we doing on the higher time frame? Are we trending up to the upside, blasting higher? Are we consolidating? Are we selling off? Are we somewhere in between all of that? What's the context? Past that, I take a look at where we are opening up. Are we opening up like we are today, gap up above prior day high, above value area high, above volume point of control, right? Are we opening up like we did here on Thursday relative to Wednesday's daily candle, to Wednesday's volume profile? Are we opening up below prior day volume point of control, testing the low in pre-market, right? Sweeping prior day's low in pre-market, excuse me. That gives me a little bit of structure, right? A little bit of context with the trend of the market, right? The overall market sentiment. Are we extremely bullish? Are we extremely bearish? Are we somewhere in between? Okay. I use that as the baseline discretion as we oh no, we're not opening up here. It's 9:25, excuse me. We got 5 minutes. Started to see a little bit of volatility come in there. I use that, take some context there. I use that for a little bit of discretion throughout the day, right? Now, overall, past that, how am I really looking for my entries? How am I structuring risk? What am I looking to trade towards? I often find that YM near the open, near NYSE open 9:30 a.m. is very mean reverting. It loves to come back and trade through VWAP, through areas of high volume, towards maybe yesterday's volume point of control, or area of high volume on the visible range volume profile, a combination of these volume tools where I identify an area of interest, a key level. You could also call it support and resistance, supply and demand, an order block. I don't care, right? I find that it trades back towards that after an impulsive move, either in pre-market for NYSE or, and more common, what I've been trading, right off the open, okay? So an example for today, again, is a little bit tricky, like I started to say, because we are pushing for a big gap up here. I'm going to be hard-pressed to fade all-time highs after a big gap up on Monday here, so it's going to be a little bit tricky. But in general, I'm looking for area of high volume to area of high volume. We pop off the open. We sweep prior day's high, overnight session high. We test a key level on the chart. Maybe it's also a psychological level. It's an area we have liquidity on bookmap. I'm going to look to fade that, maybe get short, back down towards VWAP, back down towards an area of high volume on the chart, right? Again, applying quite a bit of discretion on when that actual entry comes, what the risk structure looks like, all of these things. Conversely, If we sold off at the open, right, we come down to maybe a prior day value area low. We sweep prior day low. We sweep a pre-market Asia London low. I may look to buy into that dip for a move back towards VWAP. I find these movements, this specific reversion type of movement that I'm talking about right here, that I'm describing in general, to happen close to NYSE open for me. Pretty close to NYSE open or in pre-market. I do check my charts once I wake up first thing in the morning real early, 3-4 hours before I hop on here. I really haven't been throwing any trades on in this live account at all in pre-market. I've just been trading it live with you guys. But that's really an into the open type of trade, right? You know, maybe in the first few minutes to the first, let's say, hour. After if I get that or don't get that, as the day wears on, right, as the session trades on, I'm more inclined, and what I find myself looking for is a continuation, right? We do whatever we do off the open. We sweep a high or a low. We test a volume point of control. We start to pick a direction, right? We start to show some strength or weakness, and I look to find a way to flow with that. That was the trade from Thursday on the session with Zach on prop for a match. Really a continuation long, right? You know, after we had swept prior day low, popped to the upside. I did miss that nice short opportunity back in, and we found some strength at VWAP, started to push off. Overall, discretion. Discretion is a key part of my approach. I apply my experience, my intuition, my implicit memory in pattern recognition, okay? I think every trader does, and they don't talk about it enough. They're so hyper-focused on the model that they're trading, and then you watch them trade, and you go, well, how the hell am I supposed to do what you do, right? You know, I have no idea why you entered exactly when you entered. You didn't wait for a candle closure. You did something different the day before. It's discretion, right? You know, it's just important to acknowledge that, right? But the good thing is I trade live here every day, 9:15 a.m. Eastern if you're new. Again, this was kind of the intro on the chart, talking about my trading, talking about my approach before we get into too much detail on this market today. You guys can watch this stuff play out over and over again. You watch me take wins, you watch me take losses, winning streaks, losing streaks, break evens, everything in between, right? Really everything in between. So if you guys have questions, feel free, ask in the chat. I'm happy to talk trading, happy to talk about my approach, my strategy. I don't claim to be the best. I don't claim to have it all figured out. Far from any of that BS. I'm just a regular idiot trying to turn a profit in the market, and I'm happy to show you what that looks like for me. Now. Here's what we got. Crack to the upside here, man. Why is my Project X moving so slow? All right, I'm not going to swap time frames because I didn't like that. Crack to the upside here, man. Maintaining really, really bullish structure. We're opening with a gap up, opening up above prior day high, Friday's high here from the 24th. Consolidation overnight, really just kind of chilling out at VWAP here. Back and forth movement. Looks like we're going to open right at VWAP right here after coming down and sweeping this low right here for pre-market 8 a.m. Key levels that I watch on my chart that I no longer mark because I really like to trade a really raw chart. Prior day high and low, right? All of the levels that I get from volume profile, value area high, value area low, volume point of control. And then I also like to pay attention to, obviously, the current session high and low, right? The overnight high, what I call the overnight high and low. Asia and London high or low, right? You know, I areas of interest on the chart. Past that, for opening ranges, I do like to pay attention to initial balance, the 1 hour opening range. I had a lot of markup coming off of ES, and as I came back over to YM, which I traded a lot in the past, I've really just found it free not to mark stuff. I don't love to have a lot of markup on my chart. I love to pay attention to the price action and market structure as it's forming in relation to the tools that I use, and go from there. So for today, guys, like I said, man, I don't know that I'm going to take something super aggressive off of this. This market obviously has been very volatile over the last few weeks. We are coming into a big news week, at least with earnings. I don't know that I'm looking on Monday morning to get stupid aggressive on this. I really see myself sitting more patient off of this open and waiting for some more structure to develop. I think one of two things could easily happen. I'm sure there's a ton of traders shooting to fill this gap right back down to prior day's volume point of control. If we start to sell off, I think we could come through that very, very quickly. it is like the obvious trade on the chart. So, you know, I don't know if I'm super comfortable joining the masses on that one. Oftentimes, if we leave, let's see, we tested VWAP. I'm coming back down on this for now. Oftentimes, if we do leave a gap like that and we start to take off, man, it's an indication of a really, really strong move out of the market, right? If you just watch this stuff play out for long enough, you start to notice these patterns. Again, I'm very technical, very dumb guy, simplistic approach to the markets, staring at the chart, recognizing patterns, keeping it really, really technical without creating too much crazy narrative behind, you know, what's going on. I find myself talking in that way, and I try to correct it. But again, you know, for me, off the open, what I would really be looking at if I was looking for something really aggressive, a sweep of this overnight high for a short back down through VWAP to this area right here. A really aggressive buy on fill in this gap, maybe down into like the 47,300s. This temporary volume point of control is a little bit high. Prior day's volume point of control is pretty high. I'd probably like it near, yeah, we got some highs down here. The 40s, I know I like this area, the 47,300s, right, for a really aggressive buy. If we started to sell back off really quickly into the open, I could see something like that. Would be catching a fallen knife. This is a very tight range to open up with for YM. We have a lot of room to trade to the upside or downside before we get anywhere near average session ranges, daily ranges. Shout out my boy Brian, who's always calling out ADR and ASR highs and lows. Get that information from Edgeful as well. But yeah, so again, guys, I'm reading this, right? My interpretation of this price action, this structure, I think it could get pretty aggressive pretty quickly. I don't know if I want to take my shot too early on this. And it's not super duper clean, and it's very counter to the overall higher time frame trend for me to try to short the high back down for a gap fill on this. If we come down and close this, I think we might come down through a little bit on Friday's movement. I don't know that we just hit the 47.3s and find buyers right there. Just taking a look at Bookmap here for YM, seeing if we had anything stand out. We don't really have too much stand out on YM. Nice positive cumulative volume delta growing for, or at least holding for ES as we're starting to chop here. Yeah, so a little bit of patience, guys. A little bit of patience. On another day, I have a very clearly marked area where I'm looking for a short, area where I'm looking for a long. Gun to my head, if you said, Zach, you have to take a short if the market comes up. You got to take a long as the market comes down. That's what I'd be looking at. Right above overnight high, right above session highs. 47,800s traded out. Maybe that round psychological number. Wide stop. Just looking for a sell back off towards prior day volume point of control, temporary volume point of control, filling this gap. If I had to get long, it'd be after we fill that down below this this Friday close and into this area right here where we have multiple highs with big rejections. I think this is a key level on the chart for sure here on YM. So, but again, I'm probably going to be a little late to this party. I'm just approaching this with a little bit more caution. And again, that's discretion, right? That's just the discretion that I apply to the chart. I try to be as consistent as I possibly can be because the market is very random on the short term, very inconsistent on the short term. So you have to apply consistency within your trading. Otherwise, you're just doing something different every day. But there is definitely a level of discretion that comes in as you gain more experience. So that's the big opening Yap Fest. Markets opened up. Let's see where we go from here. Chat. What's going on, guys? Let me read through some of what you guys got going on. Scott, what's going on, man? What's happening? What's happening? NQ Ranger, what's up? Welcome to the show, man. I know you were in the Discord after the ASFX podcast. What's going on? Omega, what's happening? Good to catch you here. Rhombus, what's up, man? What's up? Yeah, Scott's back in action today, man. Good to see you, dude. Hope everything is going well. Purple Ninja, what's up? Good morning. Good morning. Wolf, what's going on? I see. Scott is here. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Juan, what's up? What's going on? What's going on, guys? Appreciate everybody that hops on, as always, man. We got an awesome community here. Really awesome community here. Scott's long the... And I'm long the YM. Okay, okay. Let's see. Love this act. There we go. Yeah. New Discord. Alan, what's up? Good to see you guys. Cook Smith, what's going on? Glad to be here. Great pod with ASFX this weekend. Yeah, if you guys missed that, there is a podcast, second one that I did with Austin Silver. It's called The Day Trading Show on ASFX, his YouTube. It's the first big video up there. He's still posting a whole bunch about it. I've posted a bunch about it. It's in my Discord. Feel free to check that out. As we're watching this market start to sell off, I'm going to yap real quick about what Top 1 futures dropped today. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think I'm watching this market, guys. I don't have a beautiful read on it today, so I think I'm just going to chill a little bit. I think we could be faking everybody out to the downside, enticing the shorts for a close of this, but we might come back up, take everybody out that's shortened with stops above prior day. I think this could get a little dicey. We have no, real financial news, and we have a lot later into the week that could mean some chop, right? It could mean some chop ahead of Wednesday. No news Monday, so I'm not looking to come in too hot and do anything too crazy. Again, bullish overall. I'm gonna have to wait to see what we get this morning. I'm not feeling something right off the open, and there's no setup for me yet. Like I said, up above this high, 47.8s, way down here, 47.3s. If we got there very quickly off the open, without doing what we're doing right now, which is kind of hanging out, balancing around VWAP, I could see something. But for now, I'm just gonna hang tight and hang with you guys. But this is what I was gonna say. Top 1 Futures, which, if you guys don't know, I am partnered and affiliated with, and I stand to make money from, so I can't be unbiased. Oh, we got a bunch of people on. What's up, YouTube? There, we got a bunch of people on YouTube. We got people on Kick. We got a bunch of people on X. We got on X. Oh, we got a ton of people. Welcome to the show, everybody. Happy Monday. Yeah, partner and affiliated with Top 1, stand to make money, can't be unbiased. Important for you to do your own research, make your own decisions as I yap about it. What's up on Kick, Jess, and Kobe? What's happening? My bad, my chat wasn't updating. Top 1 Futures has brought back the instant funded accounts. Oh, excuse me. The Ignite instant funded accounts. The Ignite instant funded accounts. And they got rid of the ESS. It is a 15% consistency with these bad boys. And no minimum trading days to pay out. These are the cheapest instant funded accounts that Top 1 has to offer. They have a very interesting rule set. I dropped a video comparing all 3 account types if you are interested from Top 1 Futures. These bad boys right here, the Ignite, the straight to funded Sim Pros, and then the most expensive, widest rule set, my preferred accounts, the instant funded accounts, the OG instant funded accounts. But the Ignite accounts were a big hit. A lot of people did like these. And in my opinion, they're running them with no ESS now. 15% consistency. 50% off. They're still hella cheap, although there's a small adjustment in price. It's $99 and $179 on the 25K and the 50K. You could also trade 100K. They opened it up to trade 100K. So overall, they widened it up. They did tighten a couple different things. They changed the price like $10 right after the discount. And they tightened up the max contract size. But check these out if you want. Link is right there in chat. We'll take a look at them. Maybe we'll take a look at the site in a little bit once we get the market moving a little bit, if we don't find anything setting up. But yeah, these are sweet. I think these are going to go crazy, and they're for 1 week. 1 week, they've said very clearly they're clipping this after 1 week. They were completely clipped off the site, completely gone, right, after the last one. I think they're going to do the same thing. So I think they were testing the waters, seeing what people liked and what they didn't like, listened to a lot of feedback, and they're coming out with what I think is an insane offer for an instant funded account to not have to deal with an ESS, right? So you guys want to check it out again? I got multiple videos on my YouTube. If you're here with me on YouTube, you can check those out. Side by side, I have one breaking down just those accounts, talking about the rules. Feel free to check those, and also just feel free to head to the site. It's all broken down on there. Now. Let's see. There goes my stop loss. Listening while driving to Maryland. Nice, safe travels for sure. Hard to short all-time highs. Yeah, it is. Often the hard trade's the right trade, right? What would be paying right now? Short from VWAP. Lower highs getting put in, gap to the downside. You know, we got opportunity there. Just checking a couple things as we push forward. Yeah, this is going to be interesting, man. Gonna be interesting. Yeah, so we're holding green overall. I'm just taking a look at the other markets without swapping through. NQ was much stronger with a push to the upside today. Cracked, put the high of day in right off the open on the 15-minute candle that's still forming. ES, much tighter consolidation, and YM, these are really not in alignment today. YM selling off to the downside. If you've been with me here before, you know I don't really utilize correlation, but since I'm on YM, the black sheep, I don't mind talking about the other US indices. I know other people are trading them. They are all green as far as percent day change goes. Mag 7's all green, multiple percent out of a few. All the rest at 1% green or over. Yeah, YM the weakest. Interesting. So again, chat, I'm hanging tight on this. Like I said, I let you know when I'm looking for something really aggressively. I try to articulate exactly what I'm doing and why. My areas of interest on this chart, and again, I really don't like to mark stuff up like this at all. I like to keep it super duper raw, but just to draw it out for you guys, right? Since we are trading live. If we came down around the 47,300s, I'd be interested to see what happens as we get down there. Do we just completely knife through, all the way towards yesterday's low, Friday's low? Or do we just dip down, fill this gap, put a wick into the downside on this daily candle that's forming, and then crack back to the upside, which is probably what I would trade for. If we faked everybody out here, pulled back up, I could be interested in it. Again, it's super aggressive to be shorting all-time highs. You get cooked and you always look back and go, why would I short a bullish market all-time highs? And then when you don't short it, the market sells off 400 points, right? Like when I was in Chicago, I missed an incredible short opportunity that I just stared at and talked to you guys in chat about. And obviously still thinking about it. But you have to acknowledge when you're aggressively counter to the overall, movement of the market, and how that can go poorly for you in the long run. But opportunities present themselves. You take them, try to apply some consistency. We don't know what's going to happen next. We have no idea what's going to happen next. And had somebody comment on YouTube about that, the way that I talked about that. That's my ideology, guys. And it comes from some of the best professional traders in the world. And someone said, sounds like a weak mindset or has no edge. I don't know what's going to happen next. I'm not in the business of predicting the market. I think that's a loser's game. I don't think anybody has any idea what's going to happen next on any individual movement in the market. If they did, they would remortgage their house, take out all the loans they possibly can, and go in with no stop loss, right? We don't. That's why we manage risk. I think we can identify things that repeat themselves in the long term over a large number of trades, over a series of trades. Patterns repeat themselves. Trends seem to persist, right? Volume, order flow, areas of interest on the chart. They can give us a way to structure risk and try to capitalize on market movements and create a very small but manageable, measurable edge. So, when it comes to getting short really aggressively counter to the market, if I have an opportunity there that I've identified as a pattern that plays itself out, right? Good way to structure risk. Maybe a ever so slightly indication of one thing happening over another, which starts to sound like predicting the market. I will try to take that. But when I put a trade on, I fully acknowledge I have absolutely zero idea if Trump is going to say, we're going to set this number for tariffs on China and the market's going to sell off. And there was a lot of people not a lot of people, but one specific group that said that they caught that entire move, and it was anticipated through technical analysis. I think that's a bunch of bullshit. That's a bunch of BS. Nobody has any idea stuff like that's going to happen. Does that mean you still can't trade profitably? Of course not, right? But I think if you acknowledge that paradox that we have to operate in, where on one hand, we're putting risk on the line and we're trading directionally, where we make money if the market does one thing and lose money if the market does another thing, we have to acknowledge that we can only have a small but measurable edge over a series of trades. We do not know what's about to happen on the next coin flip. We just do not. That's my humble, biased opinion. You might have a completely different one. You might say, nope, Zach, I've identified something through technical, fundamental, some combination of both, where I do know exactly what's going to happen next for specific amounts of times. And I would say that's great. Get all of the capital that you can and put it behind every single individual trade with no stop loss. You have no need for those. So anyway, just some ideology and thought process, that mindset psychology that I apply to the markets. I think if you start to accept that stuff, you're able to take your wins in stride, your losses on the chin, not get too jacked up when things are going really well or things are going really poorly, which is the real game that we're playing here. Not strategy, not some secret indicator, not some magic tool. I think having an approach to the market that allows you to apply some consistency, an actual edge in the market, is imperative, right? It's required. But that's the easy part. And that's not that easy, but that's the easy part. The hard part's the psychology to follow that, the discipline to actually trade that day in and day out, to accept that this is a very, very, very difficult business and that you're going to suck for a long period of time before you get good. There's really, really few exceptions to that rule. There seems to be a lot of them on social media. But most people that I see showing huge wins a couple months in have a spectacular and really unfortunate blow up. And they recognize that they did not have the experience that they maybe thought they did in the short amount of time. But anyway, this is just the stuff that helps me. So yeah, I'm watching this kind of tease us to the downside, man. This is, again, I'm wondering if we just go fill this. It's a really clean, sell off on all of these where we just come down, NQ really not moving at all, still above VWAP, ES above VWAP. YM's the only one trying for this to the downside. I'm wondering if we kind of fake everybody out here on YM and then turn. Again, I don't have a trade from up here. I don't have a trade to say short with a stop loss right in here, before we even sweep an overnight high, put the high of day in. And we just go for the gap fill. I think that could be a trade that's in your playbook, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's just not mine, right? Just not mine in general. So let's see what we get. Appreciate you guys hopping on. I really do, man. I see we got a ton of people on here. I know we got a ton of new ones from the ASFX podcast. If you're new, welcome. I'm happy to have you here. I trade live every damn day, 9:15 a.m. Eastern. Real live trading. Not always in a prop firm live account or a live account, but I always show what account I'm in. This happens to be a Top 1 Futures 15K live account. Pre-live account, technically. But happy to have you here. 100% free Discord if you want to hop in there. If you want to check out Top 1 Futures, I threw that link in chat. They got the Ignite accounts back in action. That's going to be sick. You want to check out Bookmap? I'm partnered and affiliated with Bookmap. Links down below this video as well. But I'm happy to have you here, guys. I really am. It's awesome. I've grown tremendously over the last year. It's nuts. I'm over 12,000 on YouTube. We get hundreds of people now on average that hop on all these streams. It's sick. It's awesome. And I know some of you guys are like, what the hell were we talking about with duck races? I do giveaways. I do giveaways almost every day on the live stream. I give away instant funded accounts. Maybe we'll be giving away an Ignite account today. I don't know. When new accounts drop, I usually hop on and give out the new accounts. I don't know. Maybe we're going to drop one. No purchase is necessary. If you're on the stream, you got a chance to win accounts almost every day. Almost every day. We do those almost every day. It's very fun. And when I do those, I run a duck race for the random name picker. All right, so buyers coming in. A little bit of volume here. I don't know. It's kind of what it feels like. A fake out to fill this gap and then right through the high. I don't have a setup for that either, guys, but I'm just kind of speculating as I don't have a setup as we're kind of sitting near VWAP here. Monday, no news Monday. Nothing crazy, so I'm going to apply some patience here. If you're new here, I'm not a super high frequency scalper. I don't take 47 trades on the lives. I don't just scalp price action back and forth like an absolute psychopath. I think people do that, then they do that with success. I find it incredibly difficult to do. Very, very small margin for error, very, very fast movement, and it's just not what pays me best. What pays me best is trading a little bit higher time frame, putting on more risk when my opportunity presents itself, wider stops, wider take profits, holding on to those bad boys, and trying to capitalize on a real clear market movement, or what I would call a clear market movement for from higher time frames. YM moves a lot, so I do run the 15-minute chart primarily. On ES, I like the 1-minute chart, the 1 minute, 5 minute chart. It's just so much dang slower. Back up to VWAP here, huh? Anyway, let's see. Guys are chatting it up today. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Sweet deal. Guys are talking. Eyeballing a short on ES right now if it doesn't hold VWAP. Okay. MGC has been dropping since lunch on Friday. Yeah, it was pumping for forever, man. For day over day over day. So it's about due for a little bit of a pullback. Looking for rotation down to Friday's point of control to find buyers. Yeah. I like that, Juan. I like that. I do like that. My crystal ball shadowed years ago. Yeah, such big ass wicks on the 5 minute on ES and NQ. Best to stay off, I guess. We got craziness going on. Yeah, we're choppy so far. Ooh, ES is just... ES is straight chop. Absolutely nothing out of ES. Just complete VWAP chop. Yeah, these are really... Same with NQ. Really back and forth. Just not doing much at all right now. Looked like we were going to try to find buyers here on YM on that movement back up. A little bit of momentum there, but not enough to do anything too crazy. Only other thing I will note, because we do have new people on here, I talked about this in the past as we started to get some craziness in these markets. I talked about my reversion style trade off the open, a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more counter, right? A little bit earlier to market open. I talked about continuation plays that I try to find throughout the day, whether or not we get that first trade. There's really only one more that you're going to see that is distinctly different than those two, which are not so different, to be honest. Or, just depends on what's going on. If we get a lot of volatility that comes into the market really quickly and really aggressively from an obvious underlying news event, from the geopolitical sphere that's just been kicking off, I will attempt to trade that. I've watched it for a long time. I've talked about not trading it. You guys have seen me not touch any of that stuff in the past. I am more willing now, having gained more experience, to attempt to trade that. It's not always going to be the case, right? The exact trade that I take on it is going to depend on a number of different things. There's going to be a lot of discretion applied, but I want to acknowledge that now. And those are either going to work out very quickly in my favor, or I'm going to get absolutely smoked within reason for risk, right? Not taking it on anything insane dollar amount wise. But it is something that I wrote into my playbook, right? I've talked about, I've reviewed, throughout the weeks, and it's definitely something that I am going to look to trade. I don't have Squawk on today, but through the weekend, I've started to research some different real-time news Squawk. How helpful that's going to be for me day to day outside of those really infrequent specific situations, I just don't know. I'm so cautious adding too much stuff to my my plate, but I think it would be really important and imperative in those situations to know what you're trading into, right? And how aggressive that move might be, right? So important to note that though. And when someone goes up, Zach was gambling on news when the market started to sell off on a Trump comment, I'll come back to this, right? I'll come back to this clip. For the most part, I think for everybody except the more experienced and those willing to take on the increased risks associated with it, best thing to do is just sit on your hands to not touch it. But there's momentum, there's volatility. We get to key areas of interest quickly. I'm going to look to capitalize on that, or attempt to capitalize on it in certain situations, I should say. Not a whole lot of nothing, man. Nothing. Literally bounced off my stop. Yeah. We were talking about big wicks in the 5 minutes on these. Yeah, a little bit crazy. One of us. We got Fight Club references in the chat today. Now awaiting the settling of the ducks. Market Butcher, what's up? What's going on, man? Have Mike nice too. A little back and forth. Doesn't matter, drawdown. Nice. Done a quick few trades to keep the account breathing. Hit my drawdown for my 3 elites. Need to reset my mindset to maybe get payouts next week. Gregory Maynard, what's going on, man? I would tell you here's the mindset change that I would make right off the rip, brother. I wouldn't focus on payouts, right? You know, I wouldn't focus on payouts. You hit your daily drawdown. First off, good on you for having a spot where you know you're going to stop trading. If you want to shift your mindset, want to shift your focus, come off of thinking about that P&L, right? Start thinking about the process of trading. Start thinking about following your plan, reading the market to the best of your abilities, and let the payouts come naturally. Anytime, and this is just personal experience, right? Anytime in the past that I've set a goal, and I've done this a number of times, I've set a dollar amount goal or a goal where I wanted to do something in some amount of time. I've almost always focused on that goal at some point or another, and that's skewed my execution, right? Whether I think it is or not, it's skewing my execution. It's skewing what I'm doing, right? I'm less patient. I'm less inclined to just sit out of a choppy ass back and forth day because I'm thinking about getting a payout quickly, or I got to be max funded, or I got to hit some goal, right? It just never works well for me, man. I think setting goals is super important, and what I like to do in trading is just, this is what I'm aiming for. I'm acting accordingly to do this, right? Relative to my experience, my risk structure, all these things. But however long that takes, I have no idea what the market's going to do. We might chop in a couple 100-point range here on YM for the next, 10 days. If you're a trend trader, you're not getting 600, 700-point moves out of the market trending, you're going to take L's, right? Or you're going to have to try to keep yourself out. Conversely, maybe you're trading from the extremes. You are a reversion trader, and we break out and trend off the open, 800 points every day, right? You can't force these goals everybody outside of, I think, like super scalpers on the markets. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't really logically line up. So I see people do it. I see a lot of people do it, and I think they struggle with it. A lot of blow-ups right before the goal. You probably know this, need to be careful. Yeah, once every 14 days. Yep. Selling a lot of gold at the old pawn shop, I'm sure. Guys are funny. Reading the chat. Absolute chop on ES, says Kobe Clark. Yeah, man. Can I swap without having a... Do I have an issue here? Yeah. Yeah, that's not it, kids. Whew. We're finally now starting to form some direction out of this, but that off the open was not too nice. This has looked like, where we had buyers start to step in, right? Kind of caught my eye on YM. But this is pretty choppy, man. Again, not completely unexpected with a no news Monday, right? With larger news finally later into the week, Wednesday FOMC. Kind of volatile, right, for a gap up and coming off a pretty wild week, but yeah, these are starting to pick a direction to the upside. At least they're making the case for it. Not bad. Obviously, much more bullish on NQ. Let me just get the VWAP back in the right spot. Much more bullish on NQ. But even this up until right now, right? The last couple minutes has been pretty choppy, man. It's been very back and forth. Nice test of VWAP, though, and a super strong uptrend off the open if that's your play. If you're a bias before the day starts type of trader. Back on YM here, coming through VWAP, man. These are starting to make the case for a move to the upside. YM definitely is. Again, I was cautious, and this is kind of what we had going on, where we would fake everybody out for this nice gap fill, come back down towards prior day high, and then just kind of like come into no man's land and turn, come back to take everybody out. This might be the move for the day, man, on these, right? If we're going to just grind higher, if we are going to continue this movement to the upside, that might be all we get, right? At least here in YM, a dip down and then a continuation of the upside. Like I said, off the open, man, I'm staying patient on this. I don't have a really, really nice play. I don't think this is wonderful. It's certainly a trade if you wanted something a little bit more aggressive and you said, hey, man, bulls are in town. We're pushed to the upside. I'm getting long on this. Back through VWAP. We're going to come through these highs. We're going to come through high of day. This is going to be a really nice big bullish candle that we're going to put in here. We're not going to touch this. Prior day high, prior day volume point of control. We're not going to fill this. It's not bad. It's not bad, but I don't love it. I don't love it, and it's a little too aggressive for me to take for that continuation style trade. So I'm not gonna do that. In fact, I'd almost like the most frustrating thing that I could see on the chart for a lot of traders that are already trading this, which would be come up here, sweep this high, right? Like fake everybody out to the downside first after some consolidation. So it's not even that much of a fake out, but maybe get some shorts involved here. Anybody that was aiming for this gap fill is going to be stops up here. Come through all of that, not continue, and then either just continue to chop and be a trash day, or come all the way back down through this and fill this to the downside. And that would be like, I think, a lot of blown accounts. I think that would be a real tough one for a lot of traders. So I might look for a short on that. I might look for a short up here. Again, that was a very it's a very back and forth way to think about this movement, but I don't know that we trend to the upside today. I don't know that we just continue pushing up. In fact, I think we chop overall, and on a day where I'm starting to identify that, I really am even more cautious of taking continuation trades and more inclined to take a trade from the extremes. It would involve shorting the high, the high of day, which is always a dicey play on the U.S. indices, but I might look for that if we come higher. Where the likes, guys? Fast Money, what's up, dude? Yeah, Fast Money knows the drill. We drop giveaways when the lights start to climb, man. Streamer Hub, what's up? What's going on? What's going on, guys? Appreciate y'all being here. We got a ton of people on today, man. A ton of people on. Choppy day, man. Neo, what's up? Good to see you guys. Ton of people on. I'm sure after the ASFX podcast, we had a bunch of people hop on. Appreciate you guys being here, man. Thanks for checking out the stream if you're new. I'm here live every day, 9:15 a.m. Eastern. Free Discord. I don't sell anything. No course, no VIP, no mentorship, no secret. I manage your crypto for 10,000x returns every day because I'm the market maker. None of that BS. Just live trading and a little bit of yapping about the partners and guys that I'm affiliated with. But I like that mutually beneficial relationship. You guys can get the best deal if you want, if you decide it's the best deal for you, if you decide it's a good opportunity. And you don't have to be part of anything that I do. You can hop on here, say this dude sucks, fade me, and then win a giveaway. And I'll say, maybe if you tell me I suck, I won't say good job, but but that's an opportunity for you. Yeah, man, I don't know about this. We're getting a choppy day. I would love to hop on here with some new peeps and take a banger right off the rip, but it's even worse to take a dumbass trade out of the middle of nowhere, take an L, and then have to pretend like it was a good trade. So I don't do that. I also don't have a lot of margin for error. I am in a Top 1 Futures live account, technically a pre-live account, but there's no reset button on this bad boy. There's no reset button on this bad boy. Why do I feel like I need to drop money in the... What happened? I missed what you guys said. I half thought to short YM at 600. Glad I didn't. Yeah. I usually like and then open the chat. Slipped my mind today. Thanks. A swear chart. Which value profile indicator do you use and what is the range of your value area? 40 or 70. Pam Pryor, what's happening? If you go back to the beginning of the video so I don't have to do it again, right after I come in and do the intro and the disclaimer, I show all of the settings on all of my volume profiles. If you still have a question after you do that, because you can rewind the video and go right back to the beginning where I break down every indicator and all the settings on my chart, come back and ask again, please. But this way I don't have to show everybody the same thing twice. A lot of big orders below price. Go Team Bear. Yeah, we got some stuff to the downside here. Taking a dumbass trade in the middle of nowhere and hitting stop. It's called momentum trading. I mean, it is part of momentum trading. I think I'm going to be waiting for the IB to be formed. Yep, Dwayne, I'm on board with that, right? We're getting close. For those of you that don't know, initial balance is the first 1 hour of the trading session, 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Once we have that range set, we get some additional statistics, some additional objective stats around what plays out more often than not. Shout out Edgeful, the provider of those statistics. If you want to check out Edgeful, I am partnered and affiliated with them. I don't yap about them too much. I used to be more partnered and affiliated with them, if that makes any sense. But I do have a link for them if you guys want to check it out. It's all good, Scott, as long as you don't start talking to the goose. What did you ask? Am I the only one who trades MGC almost exclusively? There's a lot of gold traders, man. There's a lot of gold traders, especially this year, right? This last huge move has just, I think, enticed so many guys to look at gold. I think I've looked at it in the past. I've only traded it for a very short amount of time, taking some overnight trades on it. If you're newer or you haven't heard me talk about it, I'm a fan of being really hyper focused on one instrument. I came from the Forex market and I didn't do that in the past, and I think it hurt me more than it helped me. I think it's a double-edged sword because you pigeonhole yourself into just one market, and maybe there's not a lot of opportunity for your trading in one market. You know, other double-edged sword things you can come up with. But I really think for intraday trading in the futures market, specializing on one U.S. indice or gold or crude oil or lean hogs or whatever you want to trade, a Forex future, right? You get an intimate level of discretion and intuition and implicit memory with that specific instrument. Because the trading's the same, the tools are the same, right? Market structure, price action, volume, all the stuff is the same, but it's not, right? The order flow is different. The price action, market structure, the momentum, the volume, it's different. The way that it reacts around certain things, certain times, it is all different, right? The risk structure as a whole, based on, the value, it is all slightly different. So I do think if you become a specialist by staring at one all day, every day for months on end, you will be a better trader on that specific, contract than you would anything else, than you would if you were watching 5, for example. And I think you find that with a lot of big traders. I think you find that with a lot of profitable guys. Not everybody. Some of them trade multiple different things, but for the most part, they're locked in. They're an NQ trader, or they're an ES trader. They're, YM. They trade gold. That's it, right? Maybe they trade like one other, maybe 2 others, maybe. But for the most part, it's like, one. If I do find somebody that really does well trading multiple, they usually trade them at different times. Usually trade them at different times of the day, different sessions, right? Like they trade gold in, overnight session, Asia or London or something. And then they trade, NQ for NYSE Open or something like that. So do what you want with that info. I wish I was way more hyper-focused on trading one thing a long time ago. Because, again, you get a feel for it. You get a really good feel for it. Especially if you're very technical and you're looking for patterns, you're looking for movements around different tools that you use, you gain a really, really good feel for your weapon of choice. Think pork bellies. Yeah. You guys are funny in the chat. Got about 15 minutes for initial balance to set. Still chopping here at VWAP, man. This is interesting. Put the low of the session here in, came up, swept the high. Do we pull back to VWAP and pop? Do we start to take off from here? Or are we just going to continue this chop fest? I don't know, and I don't care to get involved in it yet. At all. So I'm going to sit patient on this one for right now, guys. I'm going to hang tight with you. And on that note, I'll be right back, guys. Right back. Back in action with you guys. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got today. A little bit of a turn here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Sweep a session high and a comeback down? Is that what we're going to pull today? This is dicey, boys. I don't know. I don't know about this. I don't know about this market. I don't know about this market one. I don't know. I don't know. Right, like this, like I was framing out like what could have been a long, right? Like this started to look good as we came up here, right? Maybe we just go run highs, we continue. This is starting to look good short, right? And when that happens too many times, when it's so unclear that like you're comfortable considering things back and forth, that could be a problem, right? That could be a problem. Gun to my head right now, which I'm glad that I never have. Every time that I say that, I would be short. If I had to pick one direction right here, right now, it would be short towards that 400, 300 level to the downside. This thing just does not look like we want to continue over VWAP. It does not look like we want to go and grab that high. Looking at ES, we do have liquidity the upside and downside. You know, this is not terribly thin. We are dropping off on both of these on CVD pretty heavily. That would be supporting sell volume to the downside. Maybe this move continuing. I think I'm going to watch YM here, though, on Bookmap as well. See what happens if we come down through that 47,600 level where we got quite a few on the book. But this is choppy overall, guys. Like this is choppy. We're in a tight 150 point range, right? I think if you get involved here from the middle of it, you know, you can run a tight risk structure, but you're picking a direction from the middle of some chop. I don't know. Just not really super exciting. I do think we move. I do think we pick a direction, right? We probably are going to go up or down. We usually don't go sideways for forever, and I've yet to see us go back in time on the chart. I don't know that I want to put risk on aiming for the high or a return back down to this low. Maybe that's all we needed to do, and we're not going to touch the high, like I was talking about. Kind of a frustrating move. We sold off first, right? Maybe trapped a bunch of shorts here, looking like we're going down to fill this. Pull back up above the high. Maybe just that's all we wanted to do is pop some stops right here. And now we're going to come right back down through, right? Might be in store. Might be in store. Could see that happening. Could also see us just starting to grind to the upside. That slow Monday zombie grind. No news Monday zombie grind. But as a whole, man, I'm staying patient on this because, as you can hear by my description, my analysis, back and forth is wishy-washy. I don't have a setup here. I don't have an entry here. Definitely not a clean way to structure risk. So what do? Sit on my hands. I don't just try to guess what I'll say. Oh, well, you know, I got to do something. Long, short, flip a coin, short. I took a stop loss. Oh, well, you know, we get them next time. No, I'm happy to take L's. I'm happy to take stops, but I want it to be on a clear setup for me, for my system. And just because I don't have a clean read of this and I don't have a good setup and way to structure risk does not mean that you don't. This might be A+++ for you, and you've already been in twice and you're making money. You know, that could be, you know, your cup of tea. And when I have a setup, you might say, dude, not for me at all. This is not clear to me, and I don't like it at all. It's important to recognize that as well. We all will have slightly different, usually very different, but at least slightly different ways that we read the market, that we interpret the tools that we use, and when we have setups and when we don't have setups. So, you know, don't get too set in your ways thinking that, you know when everybody should be getting in long or everybody should be getting in short. For every buyer, there is a seller at every level of this game, which is a little bit scary to think about, but that's the truth. Let's see. Back to VWAP on ES. Yeah. Let's check NQ. Yep. Back towards VWAP on NQ as well. Yeah, I mean, if we start to sell off aggressively, we could come through these pretty quickly, right? I mean, this is a nice area. You know, unless you're a really aggressive momentum trader where you're going to sell into it, you know, if your thesis is we're going down to fill this, right? You know, we're going to go and close this. This is your trade, right? Trade for it. Do your thing. You know, you got plenty of opportunity even to run it a few points, maybe above a high, right? You go like 5 or 10 points, 5 or 8 points above the high, and, you know, you go for something like this. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that. If that's your trade and you're going to take that every time that this sets up for you, apply some consistency, I don't think there's something wrong with that. It's not mine. Definitely not mine. Choppy, man. Choppy overall. We're about 5 minutes from getting the initial balance set. Just so you guys, just so we can talk about that. Let me load up Edgeful. I'll actually give you guys the stats for it. Initial balance is the first 1 hour opening range. It's not going to load for me. I don't know what's going on with my setup. Initial balance is the first 1 hour of the NYSE session, right? 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Eastern. There's multiple stats around it, but there's 3 that I pay attention to. It's 3 that I pay attention to. Unless we push this high or this low, it's going to be this high and this low, right? 1 hour opening range. If we come up and break the high of initial balance, stats over like the last 2 years, 3 years, even recently, it's around the 70% mark. I wanted to load it up so I can get the exact number. It's around the 70% mark that we will not come back down and break the low, right? Almost 3/4 of the days where we break one side of the initial balance, either the high or the low, we don't come back up and break the high or back down and break the low. We can also tell which side is more likely to break first based on which side is set first and last. And we also have an average extension, right? We have an idea on average that we don't just sweep it by a point or two on YM. We typically extend by a decent margin, right? Is that all you need to create an edge in the market? Does that provide you a 70% win rate? Is that a 70% edge? No, not at all. It's just basic stats based on a specific time frame in the market and a specific market movement. Do I think that can be helpful to frame your trading, right? To understand a pattern that you would want to identify through back testing and through watching the market play out? Sure, definitely. I think you could use it to your advantage, right? So I try to be aware of that. There's some really strong stats that I was aware of because they're kind of obvious and you find them in back testing. There were some stats that I was not aware of that I traded against often and lost. And when you're made aware of things like that, I think it could be helpful. I think it'd be kind of helpful. Let's see, man. Trying to come to the downside on this. Like I said, if I had to take one, if I really had to take one, I think it would be short. But it's definitely not clean for me. Do I trade ES? Yeah, man, I trade ES. Primarily YM these days, though. Primarily YM. MGC hovering around 4K again. Market's up 1%. Market's at 1% up. Highly unlikely it continues up with no real catalyst. Maybe. hanging around that VWAP. Hell of a ride. From negative 2,000 to plus 700. Fast money. Lock it up, bro. Lock it up. Been back testing like a beast this past weekend. Structuring risk is even more important than psychology, in my opinion. Rhombus, I think structuring risk is incredibly important. I don't think you can structure your risk without having an ironclad psychology and mindset. I don't think you can execute on structuring your risk without the correct mindset, right? So that's where I think it comes in. I don't know that one's any more important than the other, but what I often like, the thought process, right, is who would you take? Who would you want managing your money? A great read of the market, right? An excellent trader as far as ability to find entries, exits, to place stops and targets, high win rate, high risk to reward, but a horrible mindset, a horrible psychology, completely undisciplined, right? And everything that comes along with that, which is tilt and blowing up. Or somebody with a much more basic average read of the market, a modest but measurable edge, a pretty modest win rate and risk to reward, but incredible discipline, incredible mindset, incredible psychology, and all the things that come along with that, which is a lot of consistency and no blow-ups and tilts. You're going to take the latter, right? Because the first one's always going to end up in the boom and bust cycle. They're going to have crazy runs, they're going to run stuff up, and they're always going to give it back. That's the hard part, is keeping the money you make in the market. But that's my thoughts on it. My thought is that if you structure it properly, it absolutely leads to better psychology. That's all I meant. Hope I explained it right. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. You did. Explained it well. Most traders are oversized, right? Most traders are over leveraged. So they don't even stand a chance to apply discipline because they're so ahead of their game, right? Like you're putting the game in expert mode and you're not there yet, right? It's like the tightrope example from Tom Hogard. I talk about it a lot because that one just clicked with me so well, right? If you're learning to walk on a tightrope and you eventually want to walk on that tightrope in between the two buildings, right, in New York City, you wouldn't just put the tightrope in between the two buildings and go walk across it because you would fall off and die, right? You wouldn't stand a chance to even learn how to walk across it because you'd be so scared of falling off. You'd put it in between two trees and you'd walk across it 100,000 times. And then what would you do? You'd slowly raise it up. Why? It's the same, but it's not the same, right? The risk is inherently greater, and that's going to affect the way that you're able to walk across it, right? Your fear kicks in, your stomach starts to get shaky, right? Your knees get weak, your palms are sweating. That's the same thing in trading. If you're risking your entire account, thousands of dollars, you're trading multiple minis, and you haven't traded micros and traded small amounts yet, or on demo first and then with very low risk, you're just going to keep falling off the tightrope and dying over and over and over again, and you're going to be so pissed off that you can't walk across the tightrope. So I would think of it that way, right? Structure your risk consistently and size down accordingly, and focus on being a good risk manager first, and that's at least going to allow you a chance to improve your psychology and execution, right? Otherwise, there's no hope there. It's just a vicious circle. And again, we're talking a lot on this stream, guys, because I don't have a setup here. I really don't have a clean setup. I know I got a lot of new people on here after the ASFX podcast. Welcome in if you're new. If you want to hop in the community, it's pinned to the top of the chat, 100% free. I'm here every day. I don't have no trade sessions extremely often, probably a lot more often than other live streamers do, because I just find myself not taking trades when the market is not setting up. I would prefer not to do that today, and I can tell you, in my mindset and psychology, I'm trying to weigh the fact that I'm not going to try to take dumb trades when I don't have a good setup. I want to execute without reservation or hesitation, put risk on when the market sets up for me. But in between that, I try not to do anything stupid. I'm yapping. We're talking about mindset, talking about psychology, answering questions for the chat. If you guys have questions, feel free to ask in the chat. As you can tell, I do talk. I answer questions and stuff. Not all questions. I get a lot of dumb ones. I've gotten a lot of dumb ones over over the days streaming, and we just skip right past those. Yeah, if I had to take one, it would be short, but it's just not clean. You know, you could make the case. We got a trend line setting up here. We're failing to get above. We're failing to get above VWAP. We're continuing to come back down. We want to go take these lows. CVD has dropped off. You know, these would all be cases for a short. For me, we did not sweep did not sweep session highs. We maybe one wick. Like, what would have gotten me into a short like this? Something a little more aggressive. Maybe even getting close to that high, but definitely taking that high and then coming back down through. That gives me a really clean way to structure risk, right? And in a day like where we get something like that, some structure like that, that's my continuation trade, right? I would have probably liked it aggressively short, right? Like I talked about taking that for a reversion type of trade, but I probably would like it down here for a trade back down through towards this area of high volume, maybe towards these 300s where I had my eye on. Without doing that, I think you got to run a stop way out there, and right in here, I don't think is super clean. So just no trade, man. Choppy, no news Monday. Typical Monday PA. Yep. No news, right? No news even on. I think I checked Financial Juice as well as I usually check Forex Factory. No news Monday. At least no scheduled news. Typical choppy, no news Monday. Oh, Rhombus. Funny, man. Rhombus. It's funny. Pam Pryor. Got it. Awesome. No problem. We went over, if you missed it, because Pam Pryor asked about it. I went over my chart setup, my complete chart setup, all my indicators, tools, settings, everything. In the beginning of this video, you can go back. You can rewind my live session. I allow that feature, or I think it should be allowed. Well, it worked for that person, so it should be allowed on this one at least. You can go back through and check it out. Pretty basic. I run a pretty raw chart here. Not as raw as some, but pretty raw compared to a lot of stuff that I see on people's charts. But I go through the indicators, the volume tools that I have on with all of their settings. Well, we got our initial balance high and low. Got our initial balance high and low. Is going to be the... I don't think I'm going to mark this for you guys, but it's going to be the 47,704 is the high. 47,547 is going to be the low of this initial balance. So if we come up and break one side of that, and this is a choppy one too, we come up and break one side of that, we are much less likely to come all the way back down through and break the other side. This is a pretty tight range relative to what we've seen over the last few days on YM. You definitely could get a stop on the outside of this without doing anything too crazy. At least for me, I run a pretty wide stop and trade this directionally, but I'm going to be waiting to see what happens if we come and break one side of this bad boy and continue. And while we're doing that, Baby Rich says, hit the like button, guys. Guys, I think you know what time it is. I don't always run them towards the end of the stream. I don't always run them when we are not taking trades, but we're going to run a giveaway today, and I'm going to make it pretty easy for you guys. There's 60 people on here right now. It's 43 likes so far. We've had a couple hundred cycle on and off. We're going to do a giveaway at 75 likes. We're going to be giving away a Top 1 Futures Ignite 50K account, one of the brand new accounts that are back in action. In case you missed this, I'll throw the link in the chat. 50% off with code RDF. They have no ESS this time around. They are back with just the standard consistency score. It's a 15%. Excuse me, I shouldn't say that. It's a 15% consistency score. The standard consistency rule. The score is tighter on these. You are getting what you pay for when it comes to these being significantly cheaper, but no minimum trading days and no ESS, I think makes these things very appealing. As always, head to this site, read the rules, go through, get the full updated rule set on these. If you want to check it out, I made 2 videos. I dropped 2 this morning, long form. One breaking these down in detail, all of the rules, the pricing, everything. And then one comparing all 3 accounts, all 3 Top 1 Futures instant funded accounts. These ones right here, the straight to sim funded pro and the OG Ignite accounts. You guys want to check it out? You're on my YouTube already, so feel free to check that out. But run the likes up and we will run a giveaway. We'll get the duck race rolling. We'll get somebody funded. Maybe that's going to be most of the fun that we have today since we got a choppy market here. Yeah, nothing by way of news today. That's what I was looking up on the side. Nothing by way of news today. What's up, Trader? What's up, Dan Trader? First time catching you live. Hope you're doing well. Doing well, brother. Thanks for being here. Trying to exercise some patience. I feel a little bit of conflict deep down where I would love to get a banger trade on here and display my abilities to the growing community that we have here. But that would be allowing live trading to influence my execution in a negative way, in a way that's not going to help me. This is choppy overall. If I was in anything up to this point, I really wouldn't be super excited. At very best, at very best, maybe you're getting 75 points, but we are in the middle ground of this range. If I take a look at YM specifically here, here's the high, here's 930, here's the low. This isn't beautiful, guys. This is not something that I look at and I go, man, that's a great opportunity with VWAP right here, right? We're kind of just chopping. And if I take a look at ES, a little bit more bullish structure out of it. Zoom out. A little bit more bullish structure out of it. NQ. Kind of wicky on NQ, but definitely more bullish, pushing the upside, right? Holding a lot stronger here. So maybe you got in down here, you got in a retest, and you had some opportunity to the upside, and that played nicely with you today on NQ. Just not too much opportunity for what I'm watching just yet. So let's see, we got 65 likes, guys, 75 likes, run it up. If you're on Kick and you're on X, you can't run it up, but we're gonna get you guys the code anyway, the form anyway. We'll get you guys hooked up. Let me get this form ready to roll. We'll get the ducks ready to roll. We'll get some new peeps in on the duck races. Try to get somebody funded here. We shall see. Good to hear. What's up, Andrew Rhombus? On those Ignite accounts, what's the target before payout? It's the most, it's the easiest to hit. It's the easiest to hit. On the 50K count, it's $2,500. It's $2,500. It's less than the instant funded and the straight to funded Sim Pro. But if you guys want to check this out, so I don't have to answer it too many times over, I will do this for you. Chat. Chatty chat chat. Let's see. What happened, man? I wanted to get you guys links to the two videos that I did this morning. This way we don't have to worry too much. Yeah, this is the banger if you guys want it. That video that I just linked in chat, guys, it's a comparison. I just dropped it today. It's with the new accounts. It's with the newest promo for all of these. That's a side-by-side of all 3 accounts with all the prices, the rules, the differences, my thoughts on each of them. You guys can decide for yourself which one of those is the best for you, if any of them are a good option, because I always encourage you to put top 1 up against the competition. I think you're going to like what you see, but that's up for you guys to do. Code RDF if you want to support me, support your boy. I threw the link in the chat 47 times. It's in there if you guys want to check it out. 72 likes. Let's run it, guys. Let's run it. We said giveaway 75 likes, a couple more, and we'll get the duck race rolling. I will drop a giveaway form for those of you guys that are new in here. I'll drop a giveaway form in chat. It's going to be no purchase necessary, just basic contact info. You don't have to do that. You don't have to fill it out if you don't want to fill anything out. You don't have to do anything. Free means free, so we'll be trading here free. But if you want a chance to win a 50K Ignite account, it's an instant funded account. No challenge, no activation. Go ahead, get that filled out. Give you guys about 5-10 minutes. 1 per person. If you fill it out more than 1 time, I'm going to get you banned from everything that I can possibly get you banned from. Because it's super annoying when these scammers and the exploiters come in here and ruin the fun for everybody. And just personally give me a whole bunch more work to do. What's up, Daniel? What's going on? Welcome, welcome. Oh, yeah, duck races are coming. I really miss the ducks. No offense, God. They don't know how to run duck races on yeah. I missed the end of it. I didn't see what they did. But everybody does something differently. I'm glad that we run the duck races with efficiency here. Hey, Zach, the new rules apply to my 25K Ignite that I got from 914. No, Scott, they do not. No retroactive rule, anything. Had somebody ask that. They roll stuff out, right? Different prices, different promos. It's for the current ones. It's for the current ones. There we go. 76 likes. All right, chat. We have the giveaway form is pinned in chat. What's up, Mike Z? There you go. Welcome to the show, man. Good to see you, brother. Giveaway form is dropped in chat. Let me pin it in the chat. I will give it to you guys on X, like I said. I'm a man of my word here. Giving out a 50K Ignite instant funded account from Top 1 Futures. I'm going to give you guys until 10:50 a.m. 10:50 a.m. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Sorry. I saw what you guys said. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Nobody freak out. There we go. You should be good to go. Go ahead, chat. Have at it. Damn, you guys are quick with it. All right, there you go, guys. It's fixed. It's fixed. It's fixed. It's fixed. It's fixed. Holy, wow, man. Now I know where you guys' heads at. Damn, Purple Ninja, BT Art. Access denied. Access denied. Access denied. It's fixed. It's fixed. Try again. Try again. Try again. You guys are funny, yo. You guys are mad funny. There we go. There we go. You guys are ready. It's fixed. It's fixed, guys. Try it again. Giveaway time. We're giving out a Ignite instant funded account. Again, guys, kind of a slow watch of the market session here. This just is not doing it for me. I don't have a setup on this. I'm glad I kept myself patient, honestly, because I felt it a little bit this morning. I was a little bit tempted both ways, and that's not good. It's not good on this this type of choppy market here. So we're gonna run a duck race here. We're gonna get somebody funded with one of the new Ignite instant funded accounts from Top 1 Futures. There it is, right there, guys. If you want to check this out, link is in the chat. Where is it? Where is it? Chatty chat chat. Link is in the chat now. 50% off. And again, these are the Ignite accounts that everybody was hyped up on, but they weren't so super duper hyped up on the equity stability score. These are no ESS. It's a consistency score. It is a 15% consistency score, which is important to note. No minimum trading days as well. Positive rule changes on these, which Top One has been rolling out. There you go. X, if you guys want to check it, it's in your chat as well. Code RDF gets it done. Support me, support your boy, support yourself, or don't do anything, right? Because like I like to repeat 1,000 times over, I'm partnered, I'm affiliated, I stand to make money. I can't be unbiased if I stand to make money. Important for me to be transparent about that and for you to be a normal, educated human and do your own research and make your own decisions. Grain of salt, everything that I have to say and everything that everybody else has to say on anybody that they're partnered and affiliated with. And especially watch out for anybody that does not disclose that they're partnered and affiliated with somebody and talks positively about who they're partnered and affiliated with and negatively about everybody else. I think that's just not good to do. Choppy, 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 man. Choppy, choppy, choppy. Working out, Tom. I'm not doing anything today. Yeah, man, this is hot garbage, dude. This is, I could tell already, this is a lot of blown accounts for people, man. Not everybody, right? Not everybody. Some people are range traders, and this is beautiful. I always like to acknowledge that. Like, a bad day for me is a good day for somebody else. But that looks like hot garbage to me. Top One Future. Appreciate the honesty, Zach. Yeah, always, dude. Listen. I'm nothing if I try not to give it to you guys straight. Right? I think you get that from me here. Top One Futures relatively new. Top One Futures is over 6 months now, so relatively new in the future space. Over 6 months, $16 million paid out to traders thus far. Before they launched Top One Futures, they were in the Forex and CFD market as Top One Trader, which they still are, for over 2 years with millions of dollars paid out to traders. They're on Prop Firm Match as well. They were on Prop Firm Match as Top One Trader. But as always, guys, do your own research, make your own decisions. So relatively new, I would say, in the future space. They took a ton of heat when they first launched, right? Obviously from the competition, they're not going to make it 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Here we are, over 6 months, 16 million paid out to traders. Definitely some growing pains off the start. Some changes that I wasn't super stoked about. But now, so far, what I've seen, the last 2 promos, we've seen positive rule changes. We got a deeper discount, no minimum trading days on the instant funded accounts, which is pretty sick. And now we've got the ESS went to a consistency score and no minimum trading days. Some other small adjustments in there, things like daily loss limit they've adjusted, things like maximum contract size they've adjusted. I don't like to glaze over anything like that. But, do your own research on what is going to be a really, really important factor between you getting a payout and not getting a payout. Things like not fulfilling a consistency score, ESS, or a minimum trading days is going to be super important. Just watching this. In the duck race. Cool, thank you. All right, guys, I'm going to give you like 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes to get the form filled out. It is pinned in chat. It's across all of the streams. Go ahead, get the form filled out. We're going to run a duck race. We're going to have some fun. And, yeah, we'll get somebody funded with an Ignite instant funded account. Cool. I see a lot of former FX guys ran praise on futures. I have to say I've done both. I have to admit that I like the total control of risk over on FX platforms, the lack of central data. Is it just the lack of central data that makes futures a better choice over FX? It's a lot. That's one of them. It's a lot though, Rhombus. I would go futures over Forex by a long shot. When it comes to prop firms, what I found is futures are night and day more reliable. In the futures market, you have centralized exchange, right? So we have centralized data. All of the pricing is the same, right? The price on my YM chart is the same price on your YM chart. We have reliable volume data. We have very, very, very good fills. Next to no slippage, next to no commissions and fees. You know, you're able to trade the U.S. indices, which you're not legally able to trade as CFDs in the U.S. So for all of those reasons, night and day better on futures. To your point, position sizing is more flexible in the CFD and Forex market. If you're a swing trader holding for multiple days, I think that is one main advantage if you're trading live Forex accounts, because the margin requirements to hold futures overnight are significantly higher than the just intraday day trading margins. Also, you can't with any prop firm that I'm aware of. I think there's a couple that allow it, but few and far between that they allow you to hold overnight. Watching this thing come back down, man. Watching this thing come back down. This wants this low, but I'm not gonna try it from in here. All right, guys, let's close it up. 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 All right, guys, we are gonna get ready to run the duck race. Form is done. No more responses. All right. Thanks, everybody, for getting signed up. Let's get it ready to roll. Let's get it ready to roll. I'll keep answering questions, though, as you guys are talking. Only problem I have with YouTube live, the image pause, and I only hear and don't see live. I don't know. Don't know. Spreads with Forex can be crazy. Futures the way. Oh, yeah. Yup. Yeah, you can't trade an extremely small size sometimes in the futures market. That is a trade one micro, but there's a limitation to the downside. I do understand that, Rhombus. Again, I don't know that I'll ever touch I shouldn't say that, but night and day better. Night and day better. My transition to futures was getting scammed in the Forex market too many times by terrible Forex prop firms. All right, duck race is getting set up. We're going to run this giveaway. We got a whole bunch of peeps in today. Let's see. Let's see. What happened here? All right, let's get ready to run it. Just want to make sure everybody was in here. Nobody spammed it. Let's go, chat. We have our ducks in a row for a 50K Ignite. This is for a 50K Ignite, the brand new accounts that are dropping again. They were out. No ESS. Code RDF if you want to get it done. Let's run it. Let's run it. Best of luck, everybody. You got to be in here. Sorry, one other note on here, which I didn't say, which is important. You got to be on here to claim it. If you win, and I don't know you because you're not in the Discord and you're not on the live sessions every dang day, and I don't know that you just probably disconnected because you're driving or something, which I allow some leniency for the OGs. You got to be in here to claim it. It's one way that I know that you weren't just using your brothers and your sisters and your grandma's email. So, we're off. 2 minutes on the clock. Since we got a lot of new people, these come straight from Top 1 Futures, right to your email. Another reason to not use somebody else's email, because it's going to go to that email. And if you lied and you used another email, now you have 2 accounts, and then you're going to get banned, and that's not fun. Here we go. Let's see. I see and hear you fine. I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, OBM. Oh my god, this is hilariously great. Yeah. For the guys that don't know, we do giveaways on the live streams, and we run the ducks, man. Listen, chat yearns for the ducks, okay? No, I did them like one time, and everyone got super duper hyped, so now we do the duck races. It's especially fun when the market's like not doing anything the way that it is today, so. Sometimes we do multiple, sometimes we do none, but it's almost every day. Vastly more days than not, we are doing giveaways on here. No purchase necessary. About 30 seconds in, I'll start announcing it like a horse race, but you guys hit too many stop losses. The breakout ducks usually don't make it all the way to the end. We love the ducks. Liquidity duck that I have. Let's see. 30 seconds to go. Tawny down on the bottom. We got Cooksmith. Rhombus looking really strong. Rhombus, I don't know, bro. You're early. The King Duck up at the top. Bebe Rich, number 47. Relaxing Zen in the costume. He's ready for Halloween. Number 51, holding really strong. Hunlin, 888. Electric Kate down on the bottom. We got some stops getting hit. Relaxing Zen holding really strong. Daniel looking really strong from the middle. Daniel Holder. We got a Discord OG taking the W on this one. The number 36. Another Naked Duck win in this one, man. There was a big conspiracy that the Naked Ducks were more aerodynamic because there was only ones with no like weird stuff on them that won. Daniel Holder, we got a W in the chat. There he is. W's in the chat. Throw W's in the chat for Daniel, guys. Congrats on this one. You are the winner of a 50K Ignite instant funded account from Top 1 Futures. Congrats, Dan. Congrats, Dan. It's going to be the only one that we run for right now, guys. It's going to be the only one that we run for right now. Let me just make sure I mark this one before I get off this screen. Damn, we got a couple Dans that filled this out. There we are. Congrats to the number 36 duck. I don't know, man. I think the logic is like you can't be out of the gate too hot with these. If you see your duck up front early, it's like the duck market these days, the way that it's been moving, it's very mean reverting. There's a lot of stops getting run, and the breakout ducks, the momentum ducks, they are just not doing well. Just not doing well. A little bit of a dip down in this market, guys. This is a whole lot of nothing, man. This is a whole lot of nothing. Also, for you guys that are new, sometimes we hang on here for like 2-3 hours. How long has this been? Yeah, we're going on 2 hours here. Sometimes we hang on here for like 2-3 hours. If the market's doing something, if we got trades playing out, we got stuff lining up. If it's not, and it's kind of just doing what it's doing, I'm not getting a setup. Sometimes we clip it. Here's my areas of interest, chat. Here's my areas of interest. Can this load? Can we load up, please? There we go. To the downside, here's what I'm looking at before we get ready to wrap this. Area of interest number 1. Area of interest number 2. That's what I'm looking at. I don't really feel the need to trade in front of this, either of these areas. I think if you want to try it from the middle ground and hold on to something with a wide stop, wide target, you know, do your thing if that's the way that you approach the market every day. I think we are pretty likely to come back down here, check out prior day high to fill this gap, to come back to this area of high volume and maybe lower, to come down behind this close and into this area where we have price action, market structure, volume lining up. Maybe. To the upside, above the high, if we come down and just chop the way that we do that, I don't know that I want this short from up here. If we come all the way through this, I'm really not going to be super inclined to take a short. I think we could just grind higher for the day. I think that could be us picking a direction. But I'm going to hang tight on this. I'm not going to jump in on anything. And if it's a no trade for a no news Monday, I'm fine with that. Before we get ready to wrap it up, one more time since they're out, here is the link to Top 1 Futures. I know I'm hyping this a lot, guys, and I'm not always plugging these links so much, but this just dropped, and I think a lot of people aren't going to know about it, and I think it's a great opportunity for those that are undercapitalized and that are tight on cash. My favorite account type is the instant funded. It's not this account type, but these are back. Extremely inexpensive. Under $100 you can get into an instant funded account with no activation fee, and now no ESS, no minimum trading days. So if you guys want to check these out, link is in the chat. Again, I got 2 videos, the last 2 videos on my YouTube if you want to check these. I put all the top 1 futures accounts side by side, and then I break these down in detail. Pricing, rules, everything. Really everything. As always, do your own research. Head to the site. Make your own decisions. Appreciate you guys hopping on here. Thanks for being here. If you missed out on all of this and you want in for tomorrow, guess what? We're going to be here. Same time, same place, doing the same damn thing. Hopefully taking a W on the charts. But probably running another giveaway and having some fun with you guys either way. Link at the top of the chat is my 100% free Discord. If you're not in there, Team Real Deal, they'll tell you. It's a great spot to be. A lot of positivity, over 2,000 traders. No VIP, no course, no mentorship, no hidden crypto managing BS scam. None of that fun stuff, man. Just a bunch of traders trading their journey, sharing their journey, trying to turn profits in these wild markets. Quick disclaimer before we get ready to wrap it up, guys. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. Make sure you do your own research, make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even if under prop firm accounts. And the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, like this one right here. Top 1 futures code RDF, Bookmap, and others. Appreciate you guys hopping on. I will see you live tomorrow. I'll see you in Discord. Have a great rest of the trading day. Trade safe. Structure your risk.